On with my audio. If I can get this going. Let's see. How's our mics? How's our music?
I don't know. Chords everywhere.
We good on that. All right, what's up, everybody? It's your main man, Horace, also known as La Machine, and I am joined by the lovely Miss Karen. This is What to Sell on Amazon, where we talk all things selling on Amazon, primarily using the arbitrage business model. Although I do a little bit of wholesale, so we will begin to talk a little bit more about that. Don't know how many people are going to join us live. A lot of you might catch this on the replay. Looks like we've got 5 people out. For those of you who are out, thank you. We really appreciate you spending your time with us. Go ahead and give us a like. Mash that thumbs up button. It helps with the algorithm. Today, we're going to be talking about a few things. We're going to be talking about a little bit about selling it on Ollie's. We're going to talk a little bit about middle-aged entrepreneurs, and we're going to have Q&A for anybody if you're interested. So do make sure you bring your questions. Karen, you got to make sure you watch me so that we answer those, because I'm all over the place doing what I love to do, which is mostly giving you guys leads. So if you're joining us or if you're watching the replay, make sure to hang around, because I took some time to actually show you how I use the software Tactical Arbitrage to find some leads. So how are you doing today, Miss Karen?
I'm doing fantastic. How about you?
I'm doing great. I had a pretty solid week selling on Amazon. Nothing fantastic, but very solid, kind of typical. How about you?
Things are still a little slow for you, girl. Things
Uh-oh.
kind of, started slowing down right before Christmas, and I've had some blips, but we're working on trying to figure out what's going on.
Okay. All right. Well, that happens. But I really appreciate your candidness and your honesty on that. These are the types of things we like to talk about, guys, because we're real people. All right.
Yeah.
And this is the way it really works in the real world on Amazon. Is there money to be made? Absolutely. But this is life. Just because you start selling on Amazon doesn't mean you get excluded from the rigors of life. But for all of you who are joining us either now or during the replay, this is so important. So pay attention. You should be very, very excited right now. I want you to feel as though, you have the opportunity to provide a product to the market. That is one of the most important things you can be doing to benefit any economy. You have that opportunity. You get to sell on Amazon. Now, we're all living in this world today, and there's no one out there that is watching this video that cannot attest to the fact that everywhere you look, more and more things are attainable on Amazon, and you can be a part of that. Now is the time. You did not miss the boat. It's not too late.
That's true.
Unless you think that all of a sudden people are going to stop consuming goods. If you think that, all right, you let me know about the next NFT. Have you heard about what's going on with those? Okay, then get your mind right, get your money right. So let's talk a little bit. I'm going to pick on you just for a moment, Miss Karen. Let's talk about sourcing at the store, the retail store, Ollie's. Now, of course, we're talking arbitrage, but you got 2 types of arbitrage, right? You got retail arbitrage where you physically walk into a store, and then you have, for lazy people like me, online arbitrage where you kind of sit at the computer, you buy the product, you let it come to your house, and you deal with it. Both have their pros and cons, but in the world of retail arbitrage. There's this store called Ollie's. Man, if you're fortunate enough to have one near you, you can do. There's, I think we got people that do most of their sourcing, probably 80% or better at Ollie's. Wouldn't you say?
Yeah, there's some real advantages to sourcing at Ollie's, quite honestly, that
Talk to
are
me.
not there with some other places you would do retail arbitrage. Yeah, I used to hate Ollie's. When I first went in that place, I thought, you got to be kidding me. I can't handle this.
What was it? The layout or?
Well, what I've learned is Ollie's vary a lot by location. Some of
Mhm.
them look kind of dumpy and disorganized. And
Yeah.
so my local Ollie's was really disorganized. And so that was definitely a turnoff for me. And it was overwhelming too. It was like, oh my gosh, so much stuff in here.
Hmm.
But I found out that there are other Ollies that are not disorganized, and also that even though there's an overwhelming amount of items in there, you don't have to try to tackle the whole store when you go in there. You can focus on an area like snacks.
Talk about it. Okay, you know what? I'm glad you brought that up because that is so important to our new hustlers out there. The main question is, what should I be buying? What category should I start with? You're going to be gated in a lot of stuff anyway if you're a beginner. So just get in where you fit in. Um, Believe it or not, some people are going to disagree with me, and that's fine. You can source books at Ollie's. I've had some
Mm-hmm.
success with books. And if you decide to pick a category, you get better at that category. Books is one that you can really immerse yourself in, and you don't have to go all around the store. Um,
Mm-hmm.
if you are incorporated like me, or if you have your your tax ID for your state, Ollie's will work with that. So
Mm-hmm.
you don't have to pay sales tax. That's going to be key, especially as you start getting your volume. I don't push people to incorporate right away and all of this until you know you're really committed to this and you're going to do it. Then you got to start thinking about that. But just as a note, Ollie's has no problem honoring your resale certificates for those of you who have those. Um, like Miss Karen said, hey, look, you ain't got to be overwhelmed with the entire store. Books are good. Another one that I like, if you can get into it, is hair products. I'm talking like blow dryers, flat irons, that kind of stuff. You guys follow the channel and it doesn't take you long to figure out I'm into the snack food industry. I love it. But I also like all grocery and gourmet, just as
Mm-hmm.
don't let me get off on a tangent, Karen, but when I get started, food, it's not an option. It's not an option, guys. All right. And snack foods, there's no buyer's remorse, right? Nobody decides, you know what? I think I'm going to return these cheese doodles. It doesn't happen. So keep that in mind. So we may come back to a little bit of Ollie's. Let's take a look. Who's out here with us? Did anybody join us? Let me take a
Yeah, we
look here.
got some folks. Red House is new.
Oh yeah. All right. We gotta acknowledge. New here, glad to be here. Well, we're thrilled to have you. If you have any questions, if you have any comments, if you want to share your experiences, me and Karen are here for you. All right. Everybody who's out here right now, understand this is your time. If we've been selling collectively for years and we do six figures. So if you got any questions, this is your time. Uh this FOABP132. I know that guy. I want to say that's Eric, but I could be wrong. And I know Javine Kumar. I remember them. The K Cameron, I'm not sure. I want to say I know them too. So, guys, if you have any questions, good. If not, here's what we're going to do. I personally, I want to talk specifically to my middle-aged entrepreneurs. But before we get to that, here's what we're going to do, gang. We're going to look at some leads because you know how I am. I enjoy, first and foremost, getting you some leads and showing you how I use the software Tactical Arbitrage. So, let me see here. I'm going to share a screen. And let me see. All right. So I'm going to do it like this. Can you see my screen, Karen?
Okay, we can see it.
All right, good. So we're in the software Tactical Arbitrage. I use that all the time, guys. It does a lot of the heavy lifting. You still got to do the work. But what this software does, for anyone who doesn't know, it combs hundreds of websites and helps you to find possible leads. Again, possible. You've still got to do your due diligence. But what you're looking at right now in these results, if you'll notice, I'm on a tab called Always Be Scanning. So, what does that mean? That means I did not have to set up a search. I just went right over to Always Be Scanning. I hit a filter so that I could kind of filter down. I'll show you exactly what I did. You see this column right here? This lets you know that I hit a filter. And specifically, what I filtered was the categories that I wanted to look at. Uh, I don't know. Lately, mine has been a little bit slow. So you can see it's still loading data. That should be done by now. But for whatever reason, mine wants to act a little slow. All I was going to show you was which categories I wanted to show. Because when you just go to Always Be Scanning, you're going to see search results in all sorts of categories. And once we did that, I started to find things. And let me show you. Uh, if anybody, if you want me to drop the ASINs or the links to any of this stuff, uh, I would. It would be my pleasure to do that. But the first
You know what,
product
Horace,
I
that I was. Oh,
what was that?
you got right to it. Great.
Yeah, what was you gonna say?
Oh no, I was just going to say about tech. You know, we were talking, or I was talking at least about how ollies can be a little bit overwhelming because
Mm-hmm.
there's so many options and so much stuff. I think tactical arbitrage, when one first starts interacting with it, it can be kind of overwhelming too because it's such a powerful tool. However, just like when you're doing retail arbitrage, you can narrow down. You get to choose what you're looking at. And so, when you're first starting, or at least when I first started, I wanted to look at anything and everything that might potentially turn a profit, but I started, at least for a period of time, narrowing down a little bit because there was just too many results for me. So that's all I was going to say. But
I'm
you
glad
see,
you
you
did.
can get right to it.
I'm glad you did. That's super important. And remember, guys, on that note, we have what we call the Lightning series, which helps you get started with this right away. Okay, and all of that is right on the YouTube channel. You ain't got to sign up for nothing. Okay, we'll put the link down in the description. If you're ready to go right now, you just go to the channel, look under the playlists, and you will find an entire mini series that'll get you going so that in like 10 minutes you got a search going. But yeah, it can be a little overwhelming. Guys, you got to put the time in. You got to put the time in. Uh, I paid for this software easily 6 months and wasted the money because I wasn't willing to put the time in. And the minute I committed, that's when the magic started to happen. So if you're going to do this, understand anything worthwhile is going to take some effort. It's going to take you learning and getting better. But we have taken a lot of the hard work uh, out for you. And then, like I said, the software is already scanning for you. And right before we went live, I said, "Hey, let's see what we could find." And I found some stuff. Now, pay attention, because for those of you who are familiar with how to source, what are the things that you're looking for? Right away, you might think, "Oh, this is not good." So just stand by, and I'm going to tell you why I picked this. Okay. So first of all, what is it? And this is, guys, it's so important that you make sure you're looking at the right product. So here's how we do it. We're looking at the brand. We're looking at what it is. Tillamook Country Smoker Smoked Sausage, zero sugar, 4 ounces. The first thing you want to do is make sure this is not a multi-pack. All right. And you'll get used to that after a while. But I can tell this is single. Number two, you want to know, are you restricted? There's no sense in going any further if you are restricted. So I kind of moved down the page. What you're watching me do here is find that product in tactical arbitrage, because I forget where it is. All right, that ain't it. So now we'll search by the URL. See if we can find it. Because what I want to do is show you what I'm looking at, not only on the page, but in the software itself. You know what? Maybe it's on, we'll do it this way. Because you can also put it in there like that.
And there it is. We have a question too. I see Mikey's in the building.
Oh Lord. Oh Lord.
But our question is about what's a resale certificate. So I'm glad the question was asked, because the this business, like almost all others, has its own language and taxonomy, and you start to throw in terms and so forth around after a while because you know them. But what's a resale certificate, Horace?
Okay, so if you are what the government, and we're talking about specifically the state, if you are what they consider a legitimate business, then they understand that in order to run that business, you're going to have to purchase inventory, raw materials, whatever it is that you purchase in the ongoings as far as running your business. That is not taxable. Your profits are, but not the things that you buy. So how do you present that to either a wholesaler or a merchant or wherever you're going to make the purchase? How do you demonstrate to them that, hey, this isn't for me, this isn't for my personal consumption, this is part of my business, I'm making a purchase for the business? Well, you present them with a resale certificate. Now, your state may call it something else. When I was in New Jersey,
a permit or a certificate.
Yeah, when I a mercantile license is what it was called when I was in New Jersey. So your state is going to have their own terminology specifically, but it is a piece of paper, or nowadays you can get it digitally. We talked about presenting it at Ollie's. The Ollie's in Pennsylvania, they want a copy of it. So just go in there ready to surrender that copy, make a copy of it, because they want to keep it on file at location. I don't know if did you have that happen, Karen?
Yes. It used to be that you could just present it and they get your number and that's fine. But now they do.
Now they want
at least at Ollie's, most Ollie's, they'll ask you to be able to make a copy of it.
Right. And you got some cities that have multiple Ollie's. You're going to have one in multiple Ollie's. No big deal. But like Mikey says, in his state, they call it a sales tax certificate. You're in Oklahoma, right? I forget where you at, Mikey. But anyway, good question, and thank you for asking. Guys, continue to ask your questions. Let's hop back over to tactical arbitrage, and so that you guys can see exactly what I'm looking at. I can see the source, I can see the rank, I can see the gross return on investment and all of this stuff. And I know if you're paying attention, you see estimated monthly sales at zero. That's okay. That's okay. But while we're here, what I was talking about is there is a feature inside the software where you can check your restrictions. You see, tactical arbitrage is going to be linked to your Amazon seller account so that you can just click on that button and get the good news, hopefully, that you have no restrictions. And if you don't, then you continue looking over the product. Now, you got to make sure if you're doing, you can use this software and then go to the store. We're looking at Target. Most of you have a Target in your area. You don't necessarily have to have the product shipped to you. Okay. So you're looking to see, can I pick it up or can I have it shipped to me? It just depends. Now, if you're going to have it shipped, we got to make sure that you're going to be buying enough so that you're not paying for shipping. Because we want to avoid that, right?
But not so much that you start to raise a red flag. Because some
You're right.
stores aren't seller friendly.
Yeah, they're not reseller friendly. You're right about that.
Right.
I can tell you, Walgreens is definitely one of them. Uh, I tend to spread my purchases out so that I'm not trying to, I don't tend to raise red flags. But yes, thank you for that point. You do have to make sure. Now, in this case, you can only get 5, and that
Yeah,
could
Target is
be,
going to limit you.
yeah. And so you're gonna have to. There'll be other things, but again, when you're using the software, you can have the software just pick out target. Like, let's say once you find one product that you're going to go with, continue from that point on, just filter down to that store, and that way you can get enough to get your freight for free. Okay.
Hey, Horace,
Sure.
one other thing. I think this happened last week. I think you looked up a product and it appeared initially that it had no rank. This time it's saying that this product has no sales. Nothing is perfect. You still have to do you you have to drill down and do some work to check because I know Tillamook has sales on that product.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up now. Okay, because what a lot of people are going to look at, they're going to look at the tools, whether it's the keeper chart, which we're looking at right here, that would
Hmm.
suggest you're not even getting one a month, or you might be using, like what we saw in tactical arbitrage in terms of the estimated monthly sales. Guys, those are just tools. And I can tell you in my experience, some of my best sellers, you would look at charts and graphs and you would be horrified. I mean, you would run from the listing. And I can't even keep it in stock. It's moving so good. So you can't always. Sometimes you have to know. Sometimes you just have to try. You know, this business is trial and error, just like any business. So you may have to spend $4.39 in order to see. And if
Right.
you
Do it.
can't
What's what
sell
we
it,
call a test buy. You might, if
exactly.
something looks good to you, you got a good feeling about it. The numbers, everything seems to look like, maybe it's a go. Just do a test buy. Don't go in deep. Go wide, not deep.
Right. And once you put in enough time, perhaps Target is a store that you source a regular product on. I can tell you for a long time, I was sourcing at Target and it was, believe it or not, it was actually a Target branded item. I just can't remember. I want to say it was something to clean your contact lenses, and I could just sell those regularly. And then I would buy one or two of these, let it ride with the shipment, and then I could try it out. It's got zero sugar, guys. You can't lose. Some of y'all need to be avoiding sugar anyway. So,
What?
no, no, I'm not trying. I'm just messing with you. I'm just messing with you. But yeah, from here, what you want to do is figure out. This is a very important part, guys. So pay attention. From here, what you want to do is see. if you can make money. Because remember, the tool is telling you, oh, you can get a return on investment of 61%. Okay. You should be making about $3.29 when you only spend five. You're supposed to get that $5 back plus another 3.29. Oh, that'd be great, wouldn't it? But we have to figure out whatever tool you're gonna use because they got plenty of tools that you can use. What I like to use is a tool that is inside of a software that I use called Inventory Lab. I go to what they call Scout, and then I take that ASIN, I stick it in there. Let's see if this is the right product. Yeah, that's it. And see, now you see the product. Uh, Now, what you want to do is go back. Here's something that I like. What you're looking at here, guys, there's no buy box. Normally, the customer's experience goes like this. He wants the product. There's a big yellow button that says add to cart, and he doesn't have to think. Amazon doesn't like the pricing. So they're going to make every customer think. So how do they think? They have to see all buying options. That's called a suppressed buy box. As soon as you see that, you already know the price is usually a little on the higher side. So we're going to say if we hopped in with all of these guys, we'd be right around 1385 is what we're going to say. So in this block, I'm going to put 1385. I'm going to leave it toggled. I'm going to leave it toggled onto FBA for now. Wait, I got the wrong thing. So our cost per unit, 439. Get that right. Wow. Now you can't take this at face value because it's going to cost you a certain amount to get it into the warehouse. It usually runs me anywhere between 30 and 50 cents per unit to get it in. But if you could get this to move, this would be a pretty decent item. And again, I like it because it falls under grocery. Uh, People eat things. It's not a choice, guys. You got to eat something. So
I like it because I know as an over 40 that that is a brand. I mean, that is a quality brand. So I'm not sure what the data is showing. There could be, more research done on that. But just with that first sort of quick glance that you gave at it, I would bet on Telemoog. I would buy that as a
another thing
test.
you got, yeah, I absolutely. You do have to watch your expiration dates on anything that's perishable, uh, because I can tell you, especially with food items, Amazon can be a little tricky to navigate if you don't want to do merchant fulfilled. And let me show you why. On that note, with this software Inventory Lab, you can toggle over to merchant fulfilled, and if you could estimate uh, something that's real light, 4 ounces, already know it's probably going to cost about $4 and some odd change. So I would still think this could be a decent product, even if your expiration dates were a little on the tight side. You got to give some pretty good leeway or lead time if you're doing uh, FBA or fulfillment by Amazon because it takes time for them to inventory the product and then further distribute the product throughout their network the way Amazon wants to do it. It doesn't always sit in one warehouse. They want them strategically located to try and give the customer the best experience in terms of the time it takes to ship. I forget the percentage anymore of how many Prime customers they have. Prime has gotten bad. I don't know. Are you a Prime member yourself, Karen? When you
I
shop on
am
Amazon?
personally, not for my business, but personally,
Yeah,
yes.
that's what I'm talking about. Personally, they're not as quick as they used to be. I don't know. What do
No,
you
not
say
at
about
all. Not at all. Uh-uh.
it? And it's
But
what it
people
is.
still believe that they believe that it's quicker. people sometimes think it's quicker, and oftentimes
I-
it
I'm
still
I'm
is.
starting to think that was the business model, because in the beginning they were good. They was like, you know what, we're gonna get them, and once
And they
they in.
were cheaper, and they used to be cheaper, but
You mean the membership
I
itself?
don't. I'm talking
Yeah.
about the prices on Amazon. There used to
Oh
be a time
yeah,
when you
yeah.
when you think, "Oh, get it on Amazon. They've got the best prices." Well, they might and they might not. Not if it's my product that they're selling. It might not be the best price. I don't know.
Right. But that's a whole nother rabbit hole we could go down, because Amazon tends, you can, if you watch them, their prices may not be the cheapest, but then you want to sell on their platform, and then they tell you, well, your price is too high. So we
Right.
stranded your inventory. Oh, we
Right.
suspended your listing. Your price is too high. So we got rid of the buy box. You know, so we're not gonna get on that today.
No, we're
Let,
not going to
let,
get in. But a couple things, Horace.
mhm. Go
I
ahead.
just want to mention at least my experience with Target. If I'm buying perishables from Target, I try not to have them ship it to me. I try to just go in the store because I feel like, and this isn't always the case, but I feel like they just throw the oldest stuff in the box and send it
Yes.
to me when they ship it. So I tend to go in the store and look at those dates so I can pick and choose, which items I'm going to get based on expiration date. So just,
Mhm.
you don't have to do that. No one has to do that, but it's just been my experience with items with expiration that it's kind of a crapshoot as to whether or not you're going to get something that has an expiration date of at least 120, and then you need some more days after that to for it to go through transfers and all that kind of thing. Oh, hi, Katie.
Oh, you saw. I was about to tell you. Uh, how you doing, Katie? Thanks for showing up. Long time working class hustler.
Yeah.
Let me know if you have any. Actually, she gave us some a nice story. She says, "Funny you mentioned expiration dates. I just lost items due to uh what was it,
90 days
90
before
90 days
expiration
before
date.
expiration date, and never
Yeah.
sold food before." You know, let me. That's uh, a whole webinar that I plan on doing when it comes to grocery and gourmet. But here's what I've found, because I lost a lot of money with perishables. When you get to learn your warehouse, because a lot of times, and here's what I bash Amazon historically, they are getting better, and they don't have me send all over God's green earth anymore, and you get to learn your warehouse. I'm pretty fortunate. My warehouse that I normally ship to is in Hazleton Township, Pennsylvania, and they're a lot more lenient. If you can get if you can get that first warehouse to receive it, now you're good, because now you're no longer under such a microscope. You know what I mean? And then as they go to distribute, but in order for it to really work, guys, you have to have a product that there is a demand for. That's why I love snack foods. You see, that's why we need to do an entire webinar on snack foods, guys. You got to let me know, and I'm going to
Get into
start pushing
snack
it. I'm
foods.
going to start pushing it. If you guys want an entire webinar on snack foods, we can do it. Um, but I'm not putting the effort, the energy, the time into it unless I know that that's something that the working class hustlers want, because that's a lot of work. But you look at my numbers, and I show my numbers all the time. It is primarily in the snack food industry.
Oh,
So, oh,
Katie's in the
Katie's in the
UK. She
UK.
came merchant for Phil
Well, yeah,
from the
yep, yep,
UK.
yep.
Well, on the UK in the UK market, I guess.
I guess I couldn't tell you about anything going on Amazon over there. Uh, okay, so she's got stuff going to two warehouses. Not bad, not bad. All right.
FBI.
You know what, guys? I'm only going to be on for an hour. I want to make sure we go over some more products. All right. So give me 1 second.
With your encouragement, Horace, I did choose
No.
to buy some snack foods this week and merchant fulfill, and hey,
Mm-hmm.
it worked out pretty good. I tried it and I liked it.
Oh yeah.
Yep,
Let me see.
some M&Ms.
Oh yeah. Now's the season while it's still cold. Oh no, you merchant fulfill, so you can do it how you want. But
Well, the
let's see
expiration
what.
date was going to get me, so I had to merchant fulfill.
Okay, hold on a second. Did we freeze up? We might have
I
lost
think.
Karen for a minute.
Uh-oh. I don't
Wait,
know.
I got you now.
Okay.
Okay,
I don't know. I keep seeing these freeze frames and I don't like them.
right. So now what we're looking at is called Armstrong Once and Done Citrus Scent Floor Cleaner. Now, listen, guys, this is a heavier product. It's 64 ounces. So you may want to get into it, you may not. I've always had success with larger items. A lot of people don't want to deal with it. So that gives me that degree of separation that I'm always looking for. You can get it depending on how Ace is in your area. It can be a little weird, just depending on where you are, whether or not you have a store, or whether or not you can get it shipped to you. Now, you can see it's going to be $15.99. Now, I will pay 6% sales tax on that because uh, I'm not going to be able to present a resale certificate to Ace, and I live in Pennsylvania, so that'll be 6%. But remember, we're looking at a 64 ounce, guys. And when you come over to Amazon and get that 64 ounce, instead of $16 plus tax, you're looking at $50. There's gotta be there's gotta be something in there. What do you think, Karen? You think we might find a little bit of money in that?
Looks good to me.
The next thing I usually do is come look at the keeper chart just at a glance. I'm looking at the velocity, this green line. When you see a bunch of squiggly lines like that, that product is selling. Okay. Now, another thing you could do, you could come down, look at the seller rank in health and household. Somewhere in the 100,000 range is good. Uh, let's take a look and see what I saw when I saw this in the software. And again, guys, I was only using always be scanning. If
What
I
does
can
that
get it
mean, Horace, for newbies?
for newbies, the software tactical arbitrage, you can have it, well, it automatically continues to scan products. And what that does is it saves you the time of setting up a search. A lot of what really stumbles new users to the software is trying to set up a search. And I know I'm going off here, but I just like showing you guys some things. Okay, let's say you were going to do a product search. You would need to click on product search, and this is what you see. And a lot of people are going to be like, okay, I don't know what all this junk is. I don't even know where to start. All right, what you going to do? You got to get going from top to bottom. Maybe you don't want to do that right away. You can click always be scanning. Okay, and you already got it going. Now, you might want to make sure, like in my case, I'm in the United States, so I would want to click that. Otherwise, you're going to get results possibly from some other countries. And look at, I've got 19 pages worth of results that I can start going through right away. If you go and set up a search, guys, that's great. But then you got to let the search run. How long is that going to take? Well, it depends. What type of results do you want? My best results come after I let the software run for an entire day. But if I want to do some sourcing right now, time is precious. I don't got time to be waiting on a search. I can come right in. See, I wanted to add value to you, and I didn't have time to wait on a search. So I went to always be scanning, and that's how we got to this product right here. Did you catch that, Karen? Right here.
I, I did catch that. Did you
The
catch
man's
that
right here.
Sarah is here?
The man's right here. Oh, hey,
Did you
Sarah.
catch Sarah? Hi, Sarah.
Hey,
Oh my
long
goodness, Sarah,
time
I
no
need to
see.
talk to you. And Mikey, yes, I'm going to ASD.
You wanna tell them, if, for anybody that might be watching, what is ASD, Karen?
ASD. I can't remember exactly what ASD stands for, but it's a huge trade show, and it happens twice a year in Las Vegas, and they may even have some regional shows around. But there's all kinds of vendors. I mean, it's a huge, huge show. So if you're looking to white label, or if you are looking for some wholesale purchases, you're looking for just ideas and to connect with other resellers, it's a great place to be.
Cool. All right, so here's what we're looking at, guys. Now, again, if you notice, this is this is where I check to see whether or not I can make any money. Now, I will give it a lot more consideration than what we have time for tonight. But re- remember, this is a heavier product. I mean, you talking, they claim about 5 pounds, but until you box it up and everything, you might be looking upwards 6 pounds. That's no problem for me. I ship products like that all along. But if you'll notice in this column right here, this would show your FBA people. I'm not seeing any. Sometimes that's not always up to date. Sometimes there may be, but this could be something that they don't even allow you to ship into the warehouse. Sometimes you gotta, it could be considered dangerous or hazardous or whatever. I
Hazardous,
would
yeah.
I would definitely look from the side of shipping it myself, and I know that I could make money with this product because it's probably not going to cost me more than say $15, and I could still, I'm happy with a 71, 72% return on investment. If anybody wants these ASINs that I'm dropping, I can put them in the chat. If not, that's fine. We're gonna
Yeah, they're right
do
there. We can see them.
okay, cool. Let's do one more because then I'm
Now you're looking at that tool, and go ahead.
no, I was just saying because after this I want to talk about a subject that is near and dear, and I know I'm gonna end up on a rant, and y'all gonna have to hear me hooping and hollering.
Uh
So get ready, because I'm already getting mad. All right, so check this out, guys. I was looking here, same thing, guys. Always be scanning, and I saw this pepper mill. So what did I do? I went to the website. Now I've ordered from this website before. A lot of you guys may not know it, but it's called Webstaurant. It is the 8-inch walnut stain wooden pepper mill. Um, you're gonna have to buy a little bit in quantity. You may have to spend a little bit. So this may not be for a newbie. It just depends. When it comes to this website, you definitely have to make sure you're looking at the right product, and you got to make sure that we're not in multi-pack type situations. But you got
Wow.
a keeper chart that's amazing. Now remember, that's across different, you know, variations. But when you're talking about a walnut stain versus say cobalt, you're probably going to do better with the walnut stain. Now, what I like to do is if I can get that actual product ID number, uh, take it over and see if it can match, and it does. So down in the product info, okay. And while we're here, you can see a pretty good seller's rank, 15 grand under kitchen and dining, guys. You really can't go wrong. So the next thing we're going to do is take that ASIN. That's not it. Hold on. Show you how to do this. Mm. This is the ASIN. For some reason, it wasn't showing up in the URL like it normally does, but that's okay. We'll just stick it in over here. There
Mikey
it
says that
is.
when you look in Keepa, you can see the variations and see which variation sells best.
Some of them you can. I don't know if Keeper has updated it. My experience was
Sometimes
it
you can,
depended.
and sometimes they don't show all the variations.
Right. But under FBA, eh, for some people, 12%, that might be a little on the lower side. Plus, you got to consider tax. I would still go with this product, but I'm at a level to where I might add something like this. This is just an example. Mostly, guys, I just want to show you how we use the software. I got a couple more, but before we do that, I want to talk a little bit about something that is near and dear to me. So, we're going to talk a little bit about middle aged entrepreneurs, and that is very, very important. So, just bear with me. If you're young, I'm not picking on you, but you got your whole life ahead of you. Okay. When I say middle age, I'm mostly talking probably 50 and up, but this could apply to anyone who might be even 40 and up. Guys, I don't stand before you as some guru that has done everything right. Let me be forthcoming. I've done a lot of things wrong, and now I'm 53, and that might include you. And oftentimes, when we get middle aged and we start looking at some of the dumb things we've done, we're too embarrassed and we want to think it's all over. And who am I? No, it is not too late. You can do it. If you put the work in, I want to encourage you, specifically if you're middle aged. I'm here for you. And I stand before you as a person, not to wave in your face, oh, I did everything right. And now I have, I'm on the downhill. No, no, I'm not. But regardless, I will not let those mistakes hold me back. There's plenty of money to be made, there's plenty of opportunity. So, again, let me be an encouragement to you, because a lot of times when we're watching these gurus talking, when we're listening to all these success stories, it's either the young guy that had it all, or now we're looking at the old guy, reminiscing on all the things that he did right, and now his whole entire life is all set. I would venture to say, when it comes specifically to Americans, there are probably more of us who did not do the right things, more of us who made terrible mistakes. Don't let that hinder you. Don't let that hold you back. Become a working class hustler. Join me. I show my numbers all the time.
Yes, you
I'm
do.
digging myself out because I made some bad mistakes. And you know what? I put my number on the screen. You can call me, you can text me. If you have comments, we have the forum right now. You don't want to talk now, you can reply right in this on this video on the replay later. Karen and myself, we will help you. We've had, you notice us speaking to people like Mikey, to Sarah, to Katie. These are people we used to come together in a private Zoom call, and we're going to start that back up. So, and this is where we all get in front of the camera, we all get a microphone, and we can all talk, and you can get the help that you need. Did you want to add to that, Karen?
I think it's well said. I would just only add that there's lots of quote unquote hustles out there right now. There really are. There's lots of gig work available. So this is something that's absolutely doable. It gives a lot of opportunity for flexibility. You're kind of your own boss, but it is work, and it's not for everybody. And I don't think, this is just my personal opinion, I don't think this is work that you do just for the money, because it sometimes takes a little while for the money to start rolling, and the money is a little up and down. So if this kind of thing suits you, then it's a great thing to get involved in, and you can do it anytime. I mean, I'm not going to get into any specifics about the age, but we can see that you can do it at any time.
Yeah, and I I talk about middle aged a lot because I'm 53, and so you know I'm gonna resonate more with the person that grew up listening to Shaka Khan like me, or Earth, Wind, and Fire. There's just certain things that we have in common.
Here we go. Well, 8 minutes. Help him, Mikey. Help him.
Some people grew up with a rotary phone.
Katie. Okay, cool.
Like
Cool.
All right, so let's look at another item before we run out of time. I got a feeling we're going to end up going over a little bit, but that's okay. All right, let's see. What are we going to
I think being a middle-aged hustler, I think there's some real advantages to that, because you've lived a while,
definitely.
and you've seen some things, and you have some
Absolutely.
anecdotal knowledge that informs, your purchasing decisions.
And I'm glad you kind of mentioned you were kind of saying about whether or not Amazon is right for you. I really think that Amazon is perfect for the middle-aged person, because I think a lot of times we're kind of done chasing shiny objects, hopefully, and we want something that's stable. We ain't really got time for games. Life is short. I would definitely, you are absolutely right. We don't know until you put the time in whether or not this is for you, because everything isn't for everybody. And we're doing the business. So it's not about trying to convince you. It's about showing you what we do in order to be an inspiration. But guys, I don't see, if you're willing to do the work, I don't see how you can go wrong with Amazon. It's so simple. And when you look at it, when you step out of the forest and really get that bird's eye view, I've said it a million times. You can't get in front of the audience that Amazon commands. I don't care how much money you have. You can't buy the exposure that you're getting. And what do we pay? $50 a month to get that exposure? I forget. So back over to this lead I wanted to share. Now, here we are again. This is what I saw. Now, here's where I really, 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 really want you to pay attention. Okay? Because I was in the software. The software said, hey, this website called netrition.com has this product. Oh, you got a gross return on investment of 44%. Da 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 da. And watch what happened when I clicked on the image so that I could go to Netrition. Okay. Uh, so what I saw was that it was out of stock. But you know what? It might be in stock now. Let's see. Would it let us? Did that let us add it? Yeah, it did. Well, anyway, my point was this: when I looked at it, it was out of stock. So then I just did a Google search and I found it at Walmart. Now, even if it was in stock, maybe you don't want to order it from Net Nutrition. Maybe you want to walk into your local Walmart. See, I can walk into mine. Maybe you could and get that product and really see what the expiration date is on it. Because, like Karen said, Nutrition might be trying to get rid of their old inventory, and now you got to give it back, which they got to take it, but now you got to send it back. So here we go again. Right in the software, you want to see, check your restrictions. Can I sell it? Yes, I can. The software said it was going to cost about $3.49 at Nutrition. If I do it, I'm going to get it at Walmart. Now I may pay a little bit more, but then I know what I'm getting. Okay. Now I don't pay sales tax in Pennsylvania. Some states do. Walmart will take a reseller certificate. I think it's a little more involved. Karen, have you ever done it?
Yes, I have applied for a resale tax exempt card at the
Mm-hmm.
service desk. You can present your um, paperwork there at the desk,
Mm-hmm.
and they'll give you a card. And so, any Walmart you go into anywhere, then you just produce your card. You can't use self checkout, but if you go to a cashier, then they you won't pay sales tax. And I've also registered online. You can even for online arbitrage with Walmart.
Okay, so is it, if I have a reseller certificate, do I
Hmm.
go to a physical Walmart and go through the registration, or is this something I do online and then at checkout I present something that they gave me?
No, I mean both.
Okay.
So you can go into the store, and they will right then and there give you a physical card which
Mm-hmm.
you would use anytime you were in a store. Of course, you have to give them your tax exempt certificate or license or whatever it's called in your state.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one thing. But then what if you're doing OA? What if you're doing online arbitrage? You can't present that card then, but you
Well, Mikey,
can go to
Mikey just said
Walmart. I think it's
Mikey said you can.
Walmart backslash tax exempt, and you can apply there. And
Okay.
they don't even want your tax exempt license, as I recall. There,
Hmm.
they have a special form that they have you fill out.
Okay.
Easy as that.
Guys, that can be a deal breaker for some people. Some people won't won't source the same products that you source because they're gonna have to pay tax, and that could knock them out. It just depends. You don't know. Okay, so Mikey's saying for online you have to fill out the paper that the store gives. All right, so let's move on. Let's take a look at the product on Amazon. Okay, now right away we see the product for about $12, but look at that keeper chart, man. That is looking good. That could be solid. Guys, you know I love food. Uh it looks like you got to double check. You have to double check. This says 2 count pack of one. So are they saying one pack? So this says 8 flatbreads. I want to say, yeah, this says 8 flatbreads, but you better double check on that. One way to double check is to come down, check your ratings. And sometimes you'll see where somebody might have thought they were getting two, whatever. Sometimes you can even see where questions, you see what a Q&A is? Uh, somebody says, is this only one pack or 6 packs? Answer, it was 1 pack. But now you know this is how to find out sometimes, because you better be sure. Because once these customers start complaining, you on your own.
That's something as a newbie you really want to be extra careful about. So not only are you reading the title, but you just want to take extra time to read the description.
Mm-hmm.
As Horace indicated, look at the questions. Just make sure, because you don't want to get dinged. You don't want negative feedback early. Later on,
Yeah.
you can tolerate it a little bit better. The other thing is the weight of the product. You
Mm-hmm.
can kind of look in the weight, and if it says that those flat outs weigh, 4 pounds, then you know something is up. You know it's not one package.
But you can see here, I like this product, but again, I'm a grocery and gourmet kind of guy anyway. Shoot, if I'm gonna spend $3.56, get that back plus $2.63, and we could round that up to 74% return on investment. I'm good with that. Shoot.
Yeah, that's something
So
that takes some getting used to too when you're new, because you see the product is selling for, $50 on Amazon, and then you realize you're going to net out at $5.82. I mean,
yeah, there's a lot.
but you have a great way of talking about that. What do you always say? You say, "Yeah, but it's like,
Wait,
let's
remind
just
me, what do I
say
say?
if you say it's sort of like if you had a dollar, and then what you're going to get back is, I don't know, I'm just making this up, $1.30.
Uh
Why isn't that good?
well, you know, I look at it from, see, here's my thing. A lot of people, they're looking at specifically the dollar amount, and they may say, hey, if I can't make at least $10, I don't want to deal with it. That's fine. If
Right.
that's your business model is your business model. I can't tell you
Mm-hmm.
how to run your business, what your metrics need to be. But I
Mm-hmm.
will tell you this: at the end of the day, if you look at it from the standpoint of, let's say we're going to look at it by the month, what was your monthly budget? How much went out in goods and how much came back? At the end of the day, it doesn't matter here. Okay, maybe you were selling some cups like this. Maybe you were selling some chocolates. Maybe you will. maybe, maybe you were selling some bars.
Why do you have all that junk food?
I I I don't understand the question. So as I was saying, I don't understand the question. So as I was saying,
I'm sorry, I digress.
at,
Go ahead.
at the end of the day, you know, maybe you only got, if you're looking at it from a dollar standpoint, maybe you only got 50 cents. But at the end of the day, what was the entire budget that went out and what came back in total? Okay. Money don't care how you divide it up. You know what I'm saying? So it all comes together. If I've got $1,000 that went out for the month of February, and at the end of February, I got that $1,000 back, plus we're just gonna say another 300.
Mm-hmm.
So if you was doing 30% or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
okay. So you made 300. The money don't care how it was divided up. But I will tell you this: the volume cares. So you better find some products that are going to sell and quit being so concerned with what you made on in each individual, bar. How much did you put out in your total
Right.
budget and how much did you get back?
Right.
Okay, that's when you start thinking like that, that's when you'll start really making, some bigger moves. Now, I'm not telling you how to run your business. If you don't want to deal with it unless you making at least $30 per piece, go for it. But as Karen says, that's going to be a tough road to hoe. So, you know, if,
Yeah,
if, if you had
that's
gotten
that's
into
that's
this
true.
back in 2007, you probably had more stuff like that. So,
Yeah.
and then you
Well,
had other
that's another
challenges
great
back
thing
then.
about this. There's as many ways to do this business as there are people to do it. I mean, some people are going to be fine with 30% our return on investment. Some say no, unless it's 100% return on investment, I don't want to bother with it. You can do it any way you want to. It's your thing. You do what you want to do. So that's
True,
pretty awesome.
true. Let me make sure because we're gonna wrap up. Let me make sure I didn't have any other products. You know, I had one. I'm not gonna show it because I don't think too many people want to spend $72 right out of the gate. So maybe we'll look at it next time. Maybe
I
not.
might want to. You might. No, not now. Not now. Don't. That's for another time. That's nothing. Some of we missed a couple of the comments. They were just
Oh, we
comments,
got to get
just
to
kind of.
those. We
I
can't.
mean,
We
they were
can't
just
miss
comments that were kind of seconding what you were saying about, or co-signing essentially what you were saying about, the experience that you have as you continue to live.
it.
Sarah's saying, sometimes it's kind of hard to take advice from these gurus who are, like older. Just you got a kid
That's
older
right.
than them, and they're just on something different than you're on, right? And FOA FOAB
Mm-hmm.
FOA okay, FOAB P 132.
132. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, makes a dead on point. The experience enables you sometime to react to downturns and changes quicker because you've just been there before. You've already
Yeah.
seen it coming.
Yeah.
You can spot it because you've just been there. So
Right. Think
just
about
wanted
this.
to.
If you talk to myself, if you talk to you, if we talk to Sarah, we remember this thing they called Y2K. So the next time something like that happens, the way we look at it and the way the 20-year-old looks at it is going to be different. You know, that's a
Yeah,
perfect example of the type of experience
yeah.
that that we have.
It just
Did you
comes
get
to
all that?
play
Or
in
did,
so many. It comes to play in so many ways. I was sourcing. This has been some months ago, but I had been sourcing in Ollie's, and I had everything that I thought I was going to buy. But on my way out the door, I noticed they had some comforter sets, and the comforter sets were made by a company called Crowsill.
mm-hmm.
Now, I just know from the PTO mom circuit that Crowsill, is a brand. I mean, how would I know that otherwise? I wasn't really looking to source any comforters, but I just knew that from my life experience. And man, those puppies sold for about $400 a piece. And
Wow.
I got quite a few of them over time, but
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't have given them a second look at all because they cost $90 a piece. But I wouldn't have given them a second look, some years ago. I just wouldn't even. I wouldn't know.
Excellent point. All right, guys. So we're going to wrap it up. If anybody had any last words, comments, concerns, I kind of doubt it. I think this crowd is pretty much on for the most part experienced. I do want some feedback from you guys, so make sure you let us know what you want to talk about. All right, you guys, you kind of know my format. I'm into trying to give you something that you can source. A lot of you don't even need it, but who's watching the replays? A lot of this is for the newbies. We want to encourage them and show them, hey, it's not about just talking about what can be done. We want to give you something you can sink your teeth into and get going. Even if it's just an example where you could actually see what are we considering when we look at products. Because guys, once you learn the skill, it's game over. You're gonna run out of money before you run out of deals. Okay. and you're going to be managing all types of things. Finding products is going to be the least of your worries. So that's why
Mhm.
around here we focus on rolling up our sleeves and teaching you the skills. That's what you take away from you, hopefully. But if there are other things that you want to talk about, we're willing to do it. We get out here for your benefit. We know how to do this business. So why are we here? For you. But if you don't tell us what you want, you know what I mean? We ain't mind readers. We haven't learned how to do that yet. So,
Yeah. We
hey,
learn from each other, though, too. That's
we
the
do.
other thing. No matter how long you've been in the business, there's always things that you can learn. And sometimes we learn things almost, accidentally, or, you don't expect to trip on a nugget. So hopefully today there was some nuggets for everybody, some type of nugget. And it's just fun to be with everybody.
It is. And keep coming back because sooner or later, probably sooner, we're going to be announcing going back private. This right here is out there for everybody. You'll notice, guys, when we go private, we talk about things that everybody don't get. Uh, so just keep coming out here and you won't miss out because, you know, once we gone, we gone. I'm going to always be out here. But what we used to do in those private Zoom meetings, it was fire for real. So I'm going to assume we don't have any more comments for tonight. Remember, guys, you may be watching this on the replay. If you have any questions, concerns, check in the comments. I have a number. I don't hide my info. So if you want to email me, go to my channel. All of that stuff is out here. We will respond to your comments, both Karen and I. And on that note, it's time for us to get on out of here. So you know what I'm about to say, right, Karen?
I do. Say
You ready?
it.
You ready?
Go ahead, do it. Play it.
Music!